Hello, everyone. Hello. No one's commenting in the comments. Say hello. Tell me who is watching, please. Welcome to our Friday podcast, the English for Success podcast. I'm live here every Friday at 12 p.m. GMT. And today I'm here to talk about something different. Normally, I'm talking about different English skills that you can use to be successful in life. But today, I'm here to talk about me, talk about myself, which is a little bit scary for me. Some of my students have recommended that I speak more about myself these days. So I thought I would go live here today or use this opportunity on the podcast to tell you a little bit about me, but of course also give you a chance to practice your English. So we're going to do a bit of a quiz here. We're going to play a bit of a game. Okay, so if you are ready to play a game, just type in yes in the comments and we will get started. Okay, are you ready? Let's post here. Are you ready? Yeah, are you ready to play again? I post. I can. Oh, I'm posting on YouTube. I'm posting on. Okay, so I'm not here in the Facebook group, but I'm asking you directly. We're live in YouTube, live on the Fluency Secrets page, and we're also on Facebook. You see your comments from all of the replays. When I say Facebook, I mean all. So, you ready to play a game? It's Friday. Turn off this background music. My background music. All right, everyone. So it is. I'm not seeing any comments here. Let me check. Is anyone? Am I live? Am I live? Please let me know if I am live. There's no comments coming in here at all. Please type in yes in the comments if you can see me live. It looks like I'm live here. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So let's jump in. We have a quiz for all of you here today. And I see you, Moy. I see you. Thank you very much. All right. Nice one. Okay. So there's a little bit of a delay, I think, in the comments here. So you have to be fast here to play this game. Okay. So I'm going to make it easy for you. You just have to type a number in the comments, right, to give your answer, right? We're doing a quiz here. So maybe you don't have time to type in full questions, but if you have a question you want to ask me, not about English, I'll answer you here live today. Okay. This is a special opportunity to learn something more about me. So if you have a question about me, you can type it into the comments and I'll answer it during this live broadcast. Okay. Or if you're watching in the replay, maybe I'll come back and answer it later. But I'm going to give you some options in this quiz, and you have to answer by typing number 1, number 2, or number 3. All right. If you understand, type number 1 into the comments, and we're going to get started. Let me bring up this quiz. All right. All about me quiz. I have a couple of questions here. Well, a few questions here for all of you today, and you will learn about me and practice your English. So let's have a look at the first question. The answer is Ireland. Now, before I give you the question, you can try and type in the comments what is the question that this is the answer for. All right. This is how we're going to play this game. So those of you who are the fastest can type the question before I give you the question. All right. So this is the answer. Ireland. What is the question? Someone is very fast here. We have, where are you from? Who's that? I'm checking on my Mine. Nice to see you here, Mine. Nice one. So we have, where are you from Mine. Let's look at the options. Option number 1, where are you come from? Option number 2, what your country? Option number 3, where are you from? Type in number 1, number 2, or number 3 now for which is the correct question. Let's see. Let's see who gets the most points. I'm going to give you a countdown. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Type into the comments number 1, number 2, or number 3 for the correct answer here. The correct question, I should say. All right, we have some answers coming in. We have the option of, let's have a look here. Number 1. By the way, if you want me to see who you are, you have to give StreamYard permission. There's a link in the comments here that will give you a chance to give StreamYard. You just click the link, say okay, and then your name can appear here and I know who it is. All right, we have 2 answers for where are you come from. Let me tell you that you are both wrong. I'm sorry. Where are you come from is not correct in English. This is one of the most, a very common mistake. Okay, we cannot say this. We can say where do you come from or where are you from, but we cannot mix these 2 questions together. So number 1 is not correct. All right. Number 2, what your country, is not correct either because there's no verb in that question. And number 3, Mine gave us the correct answer already. Number 3 was, where are you from? This is correct. Okay, so remember, when you ask someone this question in English, you can say, where do you come from? Or where are you from? You cannot say, where are you come from? All right, and it's more common to say, where are you from? Because it's short. So that's the first question. That's the first answer. For those of you who didn't know, I'm from Ireland. Okay, I'm from Ireland. Let's jump into question number 2 on this quiz called Who is Shane Mackey? All right, for those of you just joining us, you can answer in the questions You can answer in the questions. You can answer in the comments, okay? And you can ask me any question as well in the comments today, and I'll answer you here live. All right. The answer to this question is yes, I am. Right. So we really need some genius here who can tell us what the question is. It could be many different questions, right? So do you know, or can you guess what the question is for this answer? This is for people who type really fast, all right? What is the question? My answer about me is yes, I am. What is the question? Anyone coming in fast? Any one of those quick typers? This is challenging because there's a delay on the comments. So I'm looking at the comments here. They're a little bit faster than on my system. Let me give you a couple of options to choose from, right? You can choose by typing number 1, number 2, or number 3. Let's have a look at the options. Do you teach English? Mine has an option here. Are you, let's take a look at Mine's option. Are you an English teacher? This is a good question. There's just one small mistake in this question. One small mistake in this question. See if you can find the mistake in your question, Mine, or if anyone else can find the mistake. Do you like coffee? Who's giving us that? Pie. Pie. Do you like coffee? Well, let's see what the options are. All right. So, option 1, do you teach English? Pie is asking, do you like coffee? Here's option number 2, do you speak Thai? And option number 3 is, are you married? All right. Type in number 1, number 2, or number 3 into the comments. Which one of these questions do you think is correct? Mine, you corrected an English teacher. Very good. So, are you an English teacher? That would be a good question. It's not one of our options here, but it would be a good question. Well done, Mine. And we have from Pi is now saying, are you married? All right, Pi. So, do you know why your first guess was wrong? What was your guess, Pi? Do you like coffee? Can you answer yes, I am to a question that asks, do you? So we have an option number 3 coming in from Pi. I saw that already. Mine is giving option number 1. All right. And we have, so the trick here, Mine, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You've changed your mind now. Okay. Option number 3. Okay. So the answer, a short answer, it's always good practice. It's always polite to include a verb. Don't just say yes or say no, right? You say, yes, I am. Yes, I do. Yes, I have. Okay. And what is the verb? So if the question is, do you, you do not answer, yes, I am. So that's why the correct question here is, are you married? The question is, I forgot to give you my 10 seconds. Let's go back there for a second. The question is, are you married, right? Are you? Yes, I am. So the verb in the answer must match the verb in the question, okay? Another common mistake. So this is the second piece of information about me. Yes, I am married. Most of you know that already. And one of you requested a question on my profile today is, how did you meet Namfon? How did I meet my wife? So the answer to that, I promised you I would answer your questions here. So if you want to ask me any questions for the next 10 minutes, I'm here to answer your questions, okay? So how did I meet Namfon? We met in her family's restaurant. Her family have the best restaurant in Thailand, the best food in Thailand. Maybe you don't believe me, go and check it out. So we were lucky enough to live near this restaurant, and I used to go into the restaurant very often. And that's where I met. I knew Namfon's mother before I knew Namfon. I knew my wife's mother before I knew my wife, but I met her in their family restaurant. There's the answer to who was it? Avnita asked me that question on my profile today. Okay, that was an extra question. Let's jump in to the next part of the quiz here. The answer is in 2020. So for those of you who are really fast, what is the question? Okay, I'm going to give you 10 seconds here to try to guess what is the question. Answer is in 2020. Obviously, 2020 is a year, right? So what do you think the question could be for this answer? Again, this is for the real genius, right? Who can think and type very quickly. So can you guess the question? What happened in 2020? All right, let's see. We have a question coming in. Mina, you're fast. You must have had a cup of coffee before you joined us here today. When did you marry with Nam Fan? Both questions from Mina. Excellent. Great work, Mina. When did you start teaching English? So let's have a look. Or when did you start teaching? There is a small mistake. Who can find the small mistake in this question? When did you started teaching? All right. And then question number 2, when did you marry with Nam Fan? So I'm going to help you with this one while you try and correct the first one. So, okay, did start. All right. Okay. Let me see. You're coming in so fast now. Not started. That's right. Okay, good. Not started. When did you start teaching English? Nice one. Perfect question now. Or when did you travel to Japan? Good. Don't forget your question marks here. What's wrong with this question? When did you marry with Nam Fan? So in this one, we don't say marry with, right? When did you marry Nam Fan? That would be it. Okay, we don't need to say with. Okay, very good questions. Mina is on the ball today. Let's look at 3 examples, and you guys have to choose the correct one. Number 1, when you came back to Ireland. Number 2, where you get married. And number 3, when did you start this Facebook group? All right. So type in the comments number 1, number 2, or number 3. Let's see if you can guess which is the correct question for this answer in 2020. I forgot to set my timer. 10 seconds. Okay. So Muay is guessing number 1. All right, so we have one guess for number 1. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay, number 1. And we also have Pi. Pi and Muay. You're giving the same answers here. Are you guys sitting together right now? Number 1 is not correct. When you came, this is not a correct question, okay? Remember, most questions in English, we need a verb before the subject, okay? So we need a verb before you, all right? So the correct version of number 1 would be, when did you come? When did you come? And the pronunciation is, when did you come? When did you come back to Ireland? When did you come back to Ireland? That would be correct because I came back to Ireland in 2020. COVID, we came on a holiday, we got stuck here, we were stuck here for a year, and then we grew roots and we stayed in Ireland. So 2020 was the year I left Thailand and came back to Ireland. But the grammar is not correct in question number 1. So if it's not number 1, which one is it? Let's see your answers. Is it number 2 or is it number 3? Let's see your guesses now in the Facebook group, in the comments. It's not number 1 because number 1 is not a correct question. Not when you came. When did you come? The correct answer is, do we have any more guesses coming in? 2 or 3? 2 or 3? What do you think? The correct question is number 3. Who got it there at the last second? Muay, well done, Muay. Okay. When did you start this Facebook group? And Mine as well is saying number 3. Okay, good. When did you start? So we need to, how do we know it's number 3? Because it's the only correct question here. When did you start? That's a correct question in the past simple. Okay. When were you get married is not correct. I got married in 2015, 2015. But the question is, when did you get married? When did you get married? Question number 3, when did you start this Facebook group? That's the correct question. And the answer is 2020. This Facebook group is now almost 4 years old. No, it's just gone 3 years old. 2020, 21, 22, 23, a little bit more than 3 years old, this Facebook group. Okay, so that's correct. We got it. We're asking correct questions now. Let's look at the next example. Engineering. That's the answer. Who can guess the question? Who can type it into the comments? Challenge yourself. All right, challenge yourself. Try. It's easy to just look and guess the correct answer. Well, maybe not so easy, but it's more difficult to guess, to write your own question. But Mine is doing amazing work here today. What is your field of study? That's a good question. What is your field of study? Then we have coming from Pi. What major do you like? Okay, interesting questions. You're in the right area. And Pi, you know this already. You know that I studied engineering. So let's have a look. I hope I didn't give anything away there. Let's have a look at the 3 options and you guys can choose. What your job? What did you study? What your degree? Which one is correct? Type number 1, number 2, or number 3 in the comments below. I forgot to set my timer again. 10 seconds. We have some answers coming in. Let's take a look. We have Mine is guessing number 2. All right, let's have a look. We also have number 2 coming in from Pi. All right. All right. So the correct question here is Moy is also saying number 2. All right. So the correct question is, what did you study? Correct. All right. You can see the problem with number 1. There's a the timer is causing my screen to freeze here a little bit. So number 1 is not correct. There's no verb in that question. What your job? That's not a correct question. What your degree? Same problem. There's no verb there. We would have to say, what is your job? Or what is your degree? What was your degree? But what did you study is correct. Or what did you study in university? That would be correct. Mina said, what is your field of study? Maybe because it's in the past, we should say, what was your field of study would be better. Okay, so yeah, some people are surprised about this. My bachelor degree is in, or was in, electronic engineering. So that was my first degree, my bachelor degree. And after that, then I wanted to travel the world, and I decided to study to become an English teacher. And once I started to get my English teaching qualifications, I realized this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And I never went back to engineering. Although I'm very happy I did a degree in engineering because it's given me a very structured way of looking at the world and of solving problems and building programs and creating solutions and things like that. So surprising for most, an English coach has a bachelor's degree in engineering. My master's degree is in education. All right, so I studied to be, I got a TESOL certificate to be a teacher of English to speakers of other languages after my bachelor's degree in 2003. I hope I'm not giving you the answers to any more questions here that are coming up. So then I studied to be an English teacher. Then I started teaching English in Thailand, where I taught English for about 20 years, and I started my own English school in Thailand, and I was doing professional development all throughout those 20 years. And I also did a master's degree in education. All right. Don't forget, if you have any questions you would like to ask me about myself, you can type them into the comments. We're going to go to the next question. I think we have 2 questions left here. All right. English, Irish, French, Spanish, and Thai. What is the question? Let's see if anyone can do as good a job as Mine here in the comments. All right. What is the question? The answer, it's about me. The answer is English, Irish, French, Spanish, and Italian. What do you think the question is? Oh, Mina is fast. Mina is very fast. She's a pro at this game. All right, so let's have a look at Mina. If anyone else wants to type into the comments, type in your question. Remember, don't be afraid to make mistakes. All right, this is one of the big things that we all have to get over when learning another language. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you're not going to make any progress, especially when you're learning another language. You have to throw it out. You have to practice. You have to learn from your mistakes. Okay, so don't be afraid to type in questions here. Even if they're wrong, we can all learn from the mistakes. Okay, so Mina's guess is, how many languages can you speak? It's a very good question. How many languages do you speak is also a very good question. Or what language can you speak? So just, I know you were typing here fast. You did it correctly in the first 2 questions. Don't forget the S. What languages can you speak? All right, what languages? Be careful with the pronunciation for this word, okay? Languages. Languages. And we also have in from Hala. Welcome, Hala. Okay. How many languages did you speak? All right, interesting. So this, we wouldn't use the past simple here. We wouldn't say, did you speak? That's talking about a specific time in the past. All right. So we would ask this, if someone has passed away, if someone has died already, then we may say, how many languages did that person speak? Or maybe if we had a time in the past, like when you were a child, how many languages did you speak? Right, so it's unusual to use the past here, but good, very good guess. Let's have a look at the 3 options, and you guys can type number 1, number 2, or number 3 in the comments. Option number 1 is, what languages can you speak? Option number 2, which countries have you been to? Option number 3, what languages you can speak? Type in number 1, number 2, or number 3 into the comments. You have 10 seconds. Let's see who can guess the correct answer from these options. 10 seconds, go. My timer has frozen. So we have some options coming in. Number 1, number 3. They're the 3 options I can see coming in here. So let's have a look at that. I'm just bringing my phone a little closer so I can see these comments. Number 1, number 3, and number 2. We've lots of different. Well, the correct one is number 1. What languages can you speak? What languages? We could also say, which languages can you speak? Why is number 2 and number 3? Why are number 2 and number 3 not correct? Which countries have you been to? English, Irish, French, they're not countries. They are adjectives, they are languages, or we could also talk about English people, right? Irish people. That's not a country. The countries would be England, Ireland, France, Spain, and Thailand. So number 2 is not correct. What languages you can speak? We had a guess for number 3. Not correct, because we need to have the verb before the subject in most questions in English. So it's what languages can you speak? Can you speak? Most questions in English have a verb, an auxiliary verb before the subject. Okay, so good guess there. My answer here is a little bit of a lie. Well, not a lie, but I studied French in school for quite a long time and also in university. So I studied French, but I didn't really speak it that well. I definitely didn't speak it fluently. I could get very high marks on the test. I had a very good teacher who was good at teaching for the test, but I couldn't speak French because I never really used it in the real world. Spanish, I had some friends from Mexico. I lived with Mexican people in the USA. I used Spanish, but I never spoke it in I never studied Spanish in school. And the interesting thing there is one time when I was in Mexico, I was on the plane coming back to Ireland, I think from Mexico, and I was sitting beside a couple from France. Now remember, I studied French for over 10 years. I never studied Spanish, but I used Spanish in the real world. Which language do you think I spoke to these French people? We spoke in Spanish. I couldn't have a conversation in French, even though I studied it for 10 years, right? So there's a real lesson to be learned here. And that's what I always say. The best way to become fluent in a language is to use it in the real world, okay? You practice it in real contexts. That's how you become fluent. Forget about studying in school, studying to pass a test. So the correct answer here was, what languages can you speak? So I told you it's a little bit of a lie, because obviously I can speak English. English is my native language. Irish is the native language of my country, but I didn't use it, right? I didn't speak it in the real world. I studied it in school. I can remember little bits, but I could not have a good conversation in Irish. French, I studied in school. I got very good marks in the tests, but I don't think I could have a decent conversation in French. Spanish, I've forgotten a lot of Spanish. I was in Spain a few months ago, and I kept speaking Thai. I was trying to speak Spanish, but I just kept speaking in Thai because I spent 20 years in Thailand. I'm fluent in Thai, and Thai, I got to the stage where I was thinking in Thai, dreaming in Thai. So it's very hard for me now to change to another language. So that's the answer to that question. I think we have one more question before we finish this game. Yes, this is the last question. And this is my invitation to all of you as well. Next Monday, who can guess what is the question? We are going to finish this podcast here for today. This is the last question. Please guess in the comments, what is the question for this answer? Let's see who can type a question into the comments. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Get active, take action, type into the comments here. What is the question for this answer? Very difficult. You have to really use your imagination here. What could the question be next Monday? Next Monday. Who can type a question? Who can guess a question for this answer? Oh, Mine, she really is doing an amazing job here. By the way, when I have the music on in the background, can you please tell me, can you hear my voice? Is the sound okay with the music on in the background? Please tell me yes or no. If you say no, I'll turn off the music. I don't know how loud the music is. Is it too loud? So, yeah. No, that's not my question. The question is, Is the sound okay with the music in the background? Please, sounds okay, Nina. Thank you very much. So, when is our free session? When is, oh, she's corrected herself. Very good, Mina. Okay, so when is our free session going to start? Perfect question. Perfect question. See what she did here? When is our free session are going to start, right? She made a mistake and she corrected it. When is our free session going to start? And we have, who's this? Why? When do you start free session? So when do you start the free session? You guys have a good idea. You've been paying attention. Let's have a look at the three options. When did you last eat sushi? When is your live event starting? And when are you go live here again? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Type into the comments and we will check. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. While you type your answers here, I'm going to look at this one from Hala. Hala, when you'll come back to the USA, right? Good question, but we can correct this question by bringing the verb before the subject. So the correct question would be, when will you come back to the USA? When will you come back to the USA? That would be a good question, okay? When will you come back to the USA? I'm not from the USA, I'm from Ireland. So I have been to the USA before. Maybe because I told you that. So maybe your question should be, when are you going back to the USA? Or when will you go back to the USA? All right. Okay, good. When do you holiday, leave, and travel again? When do you holiday, leave, and travel again? So again, we need to use the correct question. So when are you going on holiday again would be correct for that one. When are you going on holiday again? Or when are you going to leave again? Mine has guessed number 2. Don't have any more guesses from these choices here. So let's go through one by one. All right. When did you last eat sushi? That's a perfect question, but it doesn't match this answer, right? Because the answer is next Monday, which is the future. When did you last eat sushi is the past. So it cannot be number 1. I have another option coming in. Muay is guessing number 2. All right. Let's have a look at number 2. When is your live event starting? That's the present continuous, and that can be used for the future. Good. When is it starting? And let's have a look at number 3. When are you go live here again? That's not correct. When are you go? We would have to say, when are you going live here again? So you guys got it correct. It is number 2. When is your live event start? Correct. All right. So that is it. That's what I want to talk about now for a moment. We have a live event next week, completely free. It'll be more interactive than this. You'll actually get a chance to join in and start speaking with people next week. Okay, so we're going to give you, you may know we are working on the 6 steps to speaking English fluently. This is our new guide. This is the structure of the program. This is the book I'm writing. This is how you speak English fluently. 6 clear steps. And we are turning this into a live event next week. So I'd like to give all of you a warm welcome to join us. It's below, you can see it below here. Join our free 5-day event next week. You can go to www.englishfluencysecrets.com and you can join, you can register for this event. Where do I have it here? Yeah, it's the 6 steps to speaking English fluently. It's a 5-day event. Don't worry if you can't join live. All the replays are available inside of the event. If you want me to reach out to you or one of our team to reach out to you. You can comment "speak" below this video, and we will help get you into this event next week for free. Okay, so comment "speak" below this video, and we'll bring you into the free 5-day event next week. We'll enjoy having a look at how you can put a plan together to reach your English goals. And that is it. We went a little bit longer than normal here today. Thank you all for joining. I think we can clap our hands for Nile, who's clearly the star of the show here today. Nile, join our live event, Nile, if you want to jump in next week. And yeah, I hope to see you all inside there. We are here. I am here every Friday, 12 p.m. GMT. That's this time here. Okay, we're here every Friday. And that's it. Thank you all for playing along. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little bit more about me and tightened up your English skills a little bit here to make sure you're speaking correctly or answering these questions correctly. All right, so that's it. I'm going to finish there. Thank you all. See you next Friday. And for those of you who are in our free event, we'll see you on Monday. Come and speak below to join us.